Okay, shalom, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Once again, it's another video, and it'll be called. Let's see. Bear with me for a minute. The harlot is not the Vatican. The harlot is not the Vatican. Shalom to you, brothers, as well as you few sisters that watch our videos. Shalom to you, GMS Hawaii Bar, loud and clear. Thank you for that. So pretty much this will be a cut and dry video. I don't plan to stay long at all. I mean, it's an easy proof that the harlot is not the Vatican. And what inspired me to do this video was earlier, Elder Apostle Ram, I was here pretty much by the ocean, and we're talking about this video we just saw Elder Apostle put up, where this guy from GOCC was going into the topic of trying to prove that the harlot spoken about in Revelation, the 17th chapter and the 18th chapter, is talking about the Vatican, which is definitely not true. Okay, this is why the scriptures say rightly dividing the word of truth. GOCC is another group that does not rightly divide the word of truth. Pretty much, they know they're Israelites. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much sums them up. They're just a group that know they're Israelites. A lot of the other parts of the doctrine, they go off, and this is just another example. Anyway, the harlot is not the Vatican. Let me start by going to the book of Revelation 17. Now, we should know that these are visions that the Apostle John received on the island of Patmos more than 2,000 years ago. And he was sent there to serve a sentence from the Roman government for practicing treason. That is, he was teaching about the kingdom of Yahushua. He was one of the apostles, and he was teaching about the kingdom of Yahushua. And because of that, the Roman government charged him with treason. So his punishment, the majority of the other apostles, they were put to death, right? But his punishment was to be sent to the island of Patmos, right? So while he was there, he received a series of visions for the future. And one of those visions was the place called America. But of course, it's not going to say America in the Bible, all right? America is in the Bible, but it's known as, it's known by allegories and symbols, okay? It's spoken of in a metaphoric form, America, okay, which the word America means bitter. And this place has been nothing but bitterness for our people. Especially, it's really bitter when you wake up. Like it says in Ecclesiastes. Let me just read that scripture real quick. Ecclesiastes 7, is it? Yeah, 7 and 7. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. So when you wake up, you realize you're being oppressed every day in this society, in this hellhole called America. And rightly so, America means bitter. This is it's a hell of a paradox. Look that word up, because on one hand, people think that America is the greatest country on the planet Earth. But on the other hand, this is the place where you suffer the most oppression. This place right here in America, okay? A lot of people don't want to believe that. A lot of people actually think you're free in America until you run into some problems, especially with the state or with the government. Then you see you're not so free. You see it's all an illusion. You just have an illusion. In America, we have an illusion of freedom, which is worse than freedom itself. You know, worse than saying you have freedom. That's what I meant to say. Nothing wrong with freedom. But, you know, we have an illusion of freedom here, okay? And that's what America basically is. America's a smoke and mirror show, okay? And that's why one of the reasons why Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to destroy this place. But anyway, Ecclesiastes 7 and 7, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. So there you go. So when you wake up to this truth, you become angry, you become upset, because you see that you're being oppressed, right? Keen Paratham, they still have sundown towns where they lynch Jake. Yeah, if you're that right here in America. If you don't know what a sundown town is, Google it, look it up. You other people out there, there's still places in America. If you're caught in that area after a certain hour, you're subject to get into a lot of trouble, man. Anyway, let me get to it, because like I said, I don't want to make this video too long. Revelation 17 and 1, and there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7. Now I'm just going to bounce around in Revelation 17 and then Revelation 18 to prove the fact that this harlot that the Apostle John saw, that he was mesmerized by, is not the Vatican, but is indeed America. Okay. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials and talked with me and saying unto me, Come hither, I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Why is America known as a whore? Well, what is the practice of a whore? A whore sleeps with many men. A whore entices many men in order for them men to have sex with her, right? That is the practice of a whore, right? Well, America entices all the countries. Really, there's no more countries. Really, I should say corporations, because that's what the Rothschilds have created. The Rothschilds have created corporations on the planet Earth. There's no more countries. There's a movie, Elder Pastor Ramla, he mentions that movie from time to time. They actually said that in the movie. There's no more countries. There's just corporations. So America entices all these different corporations on the planet Earth that you know as countries. America entices them, right? Entices their people, just like a whore entices many men to have sex with her, right? And you better believe this whore was extremely beautiful. That's why when Apostle John saw the vision, he actually saw a woman, and he was mesmerized by that woman. He was taken by that woman, right? Just like many people are taken by America. Many people ain't taken by the Vatican. Nobody's breaking their neck to go to the Vatican, but people will damn near give their left arm to come to America because they still believe that the old cliche that America they brought that out in the movie Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, the land of gold, something like that. There was a scene where Bruce Lee was all excited to come to America. It's in the movie Dragon, right? They call it the land of gold, the land of opportunity. But more and more every day, that opportunity is slipping because America is being replaced with what? Something called the so-called New World Order. Okay, it's on the back of the American dollar bill, right? So that's why America is mentioned here as the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And the Lord, or rather the angel, told John, let me show you what's going to happen to this great whore. That's why it says, Revelation 17:1, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now you know why it's called the great whore. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Yeah, the American dream, the American system. You can throw in Hollywood in there. Hollywood single-handedly has influenced the whole world, Hollywood, right? Or Hollyweird. Hollywood is located where? In America. Hollywood is not located in the Vatican, all right? Hollywood is not located in the Vatican. Hollywood single-handedly have influenced every corporation, or should I say country, but we know the deal, on the planet Earth, man, and continues to do that. All the fashions, all the trends come from where? From America, okay? The fashions and the trends don't come from the Vatican, okay? With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Right, the American system, the American, whether it's democracy or Republican, actually it's a one-party system because it's controlled by the top banking families, and the greatest cash cow for the top banking families is America. That's their greatest cash cow. This is the place where they make and keep that in mind. Keep that what I just said there. Keep that in mind because as we read on in these two chapters, you'll see that. This is the place, this is the great commerce of the planet Earth, this place called America. Everybody knows America is a consumer nation. The Vatican is not a consumer nation. America is a consumer nation, right? Let's keep reading. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns, right? And an example of a scarlet-colored beast, what is that? That's what color is scarlet? Red, right? We know that this beast goes back to the Roman Empire. We know that, right? And America is based upon America is an extension of the Roman Empire, right? Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Blasphemy because they're saying that they're the Christians when they're not the Christians. They're saying that they're the Jews when they're not the Jews. I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not. Revelation 2:9, right? And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, which represent what? Royalty, right? And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. And that represents royalty. Like I said, of all the corporations or countries on the planet Earth, America is the most famous one. Everybody wants to come to America. Everybody hopes to come here and build their dreams in America. Land of the pot of gold and all that, right? So this is why in the vision John saw this woman decked with gold and precious stones, but that's a metaphor for this place called America. Okay, it ain't talking about the Vatican. But let's keep reading. Having a golden cup in her hand, again, a golden cup full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Exactly. Now you have to go into the American philosophy, which is really poison. Democracy, right? Land of the opportunity, right? Land of opportunity, right? GMS Hawaii Bar, the water for that. Now you have to go into the American dream, the American philosophy, like it says here, which is, let me read that again. Having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. That's her philosophies. Like to make it in Hollywood, you got to do a lot of filthy stuff. All right. Over here in America, you have secret societies that push witchcraft, that push all kind of abomination. You got over there, you got what is called the Bohemian Grove. One can only imagine the filthiness that goes on there. There were reports of senators chasing each other in the woods, butt naked. Yeah, you got orgies going on there. All manner of filth, man. All right, that's why this place is going to be burnt up. Not to mention the history of America. It goes back to the slave trade, all the murder. Wait a minute, how did the so-called white man get America? He raped, robbed, and murdered for it. The so-called North American Indian. The blood of the so-called North American Indian is permeated in this land, man. Okay? Not to mention the blood of the so-called Negro, the slaves that were brought here, and the horrific things they went through. So this is what is meant by this woman, even though she appeared beautiful on the outside, really she was filthy. Having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great. Because a lot of people don't know that America is this Babylon the Great. See, they don't believe that America's in the Bible because they're looking for the word America in the Bible. You ain't going to see America. That term America didn't come about till way later, after Apostle John received this vision. Okay, the term America, I think it, around what? Around the, was it around the 1300s, 1400s? I'd have to do straight up research for that. Okay, but it was named after Amerigo Vespucci. Amerigo Vespucci, right? That's where the term America came from. And I think it was a guy by the name of Martin Wolsey-Muller, right? Martin Wolsey-Muller that named this place America, which means bitter. He was a cartographer. Okay, look that word up. Anyway, upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, because a lot of people don't know that America is indeed Babylon the Great. The Babylon the Great that is spoken about in the book of Revelation. Also in certain prophecies in the book of Jeremiah and Isaiah. Okay? There's scriptures where it doubles as, it's twofold. It may be talking about ancient Babylon, but it could be talking about the new Babylon, which is America. Okay? In the book of Jeremiah and the book of Isaiah. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. The mother of harlots, like I said, everybody wants to come to America, right? Just like you have this beautiful harlot, every man wants to lay with her, wants to enjoy sex with her, right? And abominations of the earth, that's what America is. It's an abomination of the earth. That's why it's going to be destroyed. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. Now, the Vatican, how do you bring the Vatican in there? Who are the saints? The saints are the Israelites. What does it mean the woman was drunken with the blood of the saints? Well, how did the so-called black man get over here to America? In something called slavery, man. Cargo slave ships. And much blood was shed, man. So that's what it meant. The woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. We were entering into a time where some of us brothers may end up being martyrs. Okay, you can read about that in, I believe it's Revelation 20. Those that don't take the mark, the chip, may end up being a martyr. What is a martyr? That's a person that dies for their faith. Okay, so Apostle John saw that. There's another scripture where he makes mention of that. Okay, as a matter of fact, I think it is Revelation 20. Let me see if I'm correct on that. Revelation 20 and 4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them, right here in America, the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua. And we know that's what's coming. First of all, number one, they're bringing back legislation to bring back the guillotine. That's number one. You can research that. Number two, within these concentration camps, they have guillotines. And what is a guillotine? That's an instrument that chops your head off. It's a method of execution, right? And for those that don't take that mark, they very well may end up in the guillotine and literally lose their head. All right? Apostle John actually saw that. That's why it's recorded here in Revelation 20. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua. This is what we have, the witness of Yahushua. This knowledge is truth, right? And for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast. Who's the beast? The ideology of the Roman Empire, which America is governed by. That's the beast, right? Neither his image would be right now, this so-called New World Order. A map created in 1507 by Martin Walsemuller was the first to depict the new continent with the name America. There you go. The water brother, the brother from Hawaii. Beautiful, man. You always come through with those facts. So you know I'm not just talking out of the side of my neck, okay? This is stuff we have researched, all right? So that was what, 1507? There you go. So that this what I'm reading here wasn't written in 1507. It was written way before that. Let's try 96 AD. That's when this was written. So you're not going to see the term America there. Doesn't mean America is not in the Bible. Doesn't mean America is not in the book of Revelation. Okay? And once again, the brother from Hawaii, the water for that, bro. Let me keep reading. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast. So what is the beast? The Roman system, right? Which America's pattern after, right? Neither his image, that would be the so-called New World Order, right? Neither received his mark. So you got to know who the beast is. You got to know who the image, or what the image is. And you got to know what the mark is. What is the mark? That actual chip that they put in you. There's some that say the mark is the serpent's juice, or like Apostle Elder Ramlab calls it, the juice crew juice. No, man, the mark is that actual chip that's inserted inside of you, which contains all your information. All right? That is the mark. Okay? Neither his image, neither received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. So certain guys that are not going to take the mark, or neither bow down to the New World Order, or the image that the New World Order is patterned after, which is the Roman system of things, they may very well be what? Beheaded. That's where you bring in the guillotine, right? Matter of fact, there was a trailer, which was supposed to be a movie, that was supposed to be made. I forgot the guy's Crowley, I think his last name was. Anybody finds the information, they can put it there. Gray State. The movie was supposed to be called Gray State. And in the trailer, they showed you, one of the last scenes, they showed you the guillotine. People were being led to the guillotine. Now, also, there's right, Gray State. There's in the book, there's a cartoon of that. I forgot the name of the book. Satan's Angels Exposed. That's the name of the book, by Salam Kurban, right? There's a section in the book where they deal with how Christians are going to be persecuted by the New World Order. They show you the government troops. They show you these, it's a cartoon. They show you these people being led up to the guillotine, about to get their head chopped off. So this is where we're going with it. This is where this thing is heading, okay? And that's another video for another time. So this is what is meant by, when you go back to Revelation 17:6, this is what is meant by the woman being drunken with the blood of the saints, right? Because let's not forget, the main enemy of the New World Order, the main enemy of these top banking families is us Israelites, man, the saints. You go in the book of Psalm, the 83rd chapter, it tells you that. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's what the top banking families want to do. They want to try to rip our birthright from us that they lost to our forefather Jacob. They're trying to get back, Great State Director David Crowley, thank you for that. They're trying to get Esau, starting with the top banking families, they're trying to get back their birthright that they lost. That's what the so-called New World Order is all about. Them trying to get back their birthright. But it ain't going to happen. The birthright belongs to us. What is the birthright? The kingdom of heaven that Yahushua is coming to set up here, right here on the planet Earth. Anyway, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman. And it seems that GOCC don't know the mystery of the woman. Wait a minute, when it says mystery Babylon the Great, GOCC, to them it's a mystery. Because that's why they're teaching that the harlot, right, is the Vatican. Because it's still a mystery to them. It's not a mystery to us. We know who Babylon the Great is. Okay? And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? Because the woman was so beautiful and enticing, just like America. So Vatican City ain't, nobody's really enticed by the Vatican City. Like I said earlier, nobody's trying to break their neck to go to the Vatican City. Everybody wants to come here to America. They want to see, Walt Disney. They want to see Mickey Mouse. Believe it or not, they want to see Mickey Mouse. Uh-oh. Okay. Let me know if I'm back. Let me know if I'm back. I got cut off there. I don't have to tell you. Yeah, the land of madness and folly, Steve Jones. Con, you're back. Yeah. You know, you got so many things in America that people are mesmerized by. Like I mentioned, Hollywood. You got Walt Disney, right? You got the different landmarks in America. People come to America, they want to see the Empire State Building, right? When the World Trade Center was up, they wanted to see that. All right. So this is why the Apostle John wondered at this woman. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carried her. And of the beast that carried her. That's the Roman government, the Roman system back then, more than 2,000 years ago. America's patterned after the Roman system of government. Okay? That is the beast that carries her, which have 7 heads and 10 horns. Like I said, I'm not going to go all into it. You know, I don't want to make this video too long. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. And that beast was resurrected through America. That beast is the Roman Empire, which was resurrected through America. Like we always say, the last leg of the Roman Empire. Okay? And people that don't know this truth, people that do not understand these prophecies, will, like it says here, will wonder, okay? Will be taken by this American nonsense, okay? And that's exactly what it is, nonsense. The American system, the American government. And here's the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, 1 is, and we've done tons of videos on this, okay? All you have to do is search out our website. And the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, which would be America, and is of the 7, because America is patterned after the Roman Empire, one of the 7, and goeth into perdition, meaning what? Destruction. That ain't talking about the Vatican City, okay? All right, so let me, I'm just gonna bounce around, all right? Okay, let's jump to the 15th verse. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And America is known as what? The melting pot, is it not? All kind of different nations dwell here in America, trying to come together as one. All right? Now, we're going to jump down to the 18th verse, then we're going to go into the 18th chapter. And you're really going to see that the woman is America and not the Vatican City, or the harlot, that is. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Again, that's America. Like I said, America is the shining star right now, okay? Everybody wants to come to America. Land of, like the brother from Hawaii put there, land of opportunity, right? It is 2021. America is still known as the land of opportunity. Supposedly the greatest country on the planet, which is all BS, okay? Revelation 18:1, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great. Babylon is that same harlot, right? Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils. That's after the destruction of America. Now, a good link up for that would be Isaiah, the 34th chapter. It tells you what that means, because America is going to be 100% desert. Okay, and what you're going to, after the fire dies down, because America is going to be a lake of fire after the fire dies down, because what's going to bring the fire? The missiles, because America is going to be involved in World War III, and the chariots of the Lord. The Lord himself is coming to bring fire. Luke 12:49. Okay, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? Because you're going to have World War III, man. So this place is going to be turned into a lake of fire, okay? And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and become the habitation of devils. Because after the fire dies down, you're going to have wild creatures dwelling here, wild birds, right? And the hole of every foul spirit, the same thing, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And you can find out about that if you go in Isaiah 34, all right? Tells you what kind of birds. One of the birds mentioned is the bittern. Look up that word, the bittern, B-I-T-T-E-R-N. That's a wild bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Again, that's not the Vatican, all right? America has its own philosophy, okay? All right, the democracy, republicanism, all right? And democracy or republicanism has influenced the whole world, okay? Again, it's not talking about the Vatican. The Vatican really doesn't influence the whole world, all right? For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. I already explained that. And the merchants, listen good, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right, that's talking about trade. All right, there's many countries that have been made rich by the consumer nation known as America. Let's look at Japan. Japan became rich off the backs of the so-called Americans, because Americans buy a lot of the Japanese products, especially their vehicles. So that's one country, Japan. Let's look at China. China have become rich, so much so that they're boasting against America. But how did they become rich, China? By the so-called Americans, buying their products, right? For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Exactly. Because they peddle their goods. I gave you two examples, Japan and China. They peddle their goods over here in America. America is nothing but a consumer nation. Jacob is the world's biggest consumers. Yeah, Jacob, as in Jake, our people. Okay? And you notice it says abundance of her delicacies. And I heard this is not talking about the Vatican. The Vatican doesn't. When you go back to business and trade, the Vatican ain't influencing the whole world. All right. How do I say this? The other countries are not sending their goods over to the Vatican to be sold. No, they're sending their goods over here to America to be sold, because America is that consumer nation. So this is how you really prove that this is not talking about the Vatican. Let's read it again. The latter part of the third verse. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. How can you see that that's talking about the Vatican? That ain't talking about the Vatican, that's talking about America. Okay? GMS Shapat, yeah. Ports, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. Now, the main deliverance of the Lord's people is not going to take place in the Vatican. The main deliverance of the Lord's people is going to take place right here in America. America is known spiritually as this Egypt, where the first Egypt, the children of Israel was in slavery in the first Egypt. Guess what? They're in slavery now in the second Egypt, which is America. America is spiritually known as Egypt, the new Egypt, because they carry the symbols of the ancient Egypt. Like, let me give you an example. What you know as this woman taking a picture. I don't know if she's taking a picture of me or what. You wasn't taking a picture of me, was you?
No, the sun.
Oh, the sun. Okay.
You know what? I didn't even see you there. Because I'm just looking at the sun.
Oh, looking at the sun.
I'm paying attention to my surroundings.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just walking.
Yep. Keep on walking. Oh, bitch. Anyway, this so-called white woman. Anyway, let me get back to Revelation. I was gonna mess with her. Make sure she gets your good side. Yeah. I was gonna mess with her. But you know how these so-called women are. They're nutty, man. Anyway, Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. Right. The great deliverance is going to take place here in America. Okay. Because America is going to be totally destroyed. And that ye receive not of her plagues. What plague? You go in the book of Zechariah, the 14th chapter, it speaks about the plague. And this shall be the plague. As a matter of fact, let me get it. Zechariah, the 14th chapter. Zechariah 14th chapter and 12th verse. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. I've just thought about what this woman said. I'm taking a picture of the sun. Well, guess what? This knowledge is like the sun, right? It's bright like the sun. But the sun is directly behind me, so you know I can believe that, I guess. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Now, what is that? Nuclear radiation. The Bible calls it a plague. The main nuclear war is going to take place here. The main nuclear war is going to take place here in America. Okay? While they stand upon their feet. A good example of that is the movie Terminator 2, the scene with the woman that played Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton. All right? If you haven't seen that movie, you really should check it out, especially for that scene where she's rattling the fence, right? And she sees that flash of light, and then there's that wall of fire sweeping across the land. Well, there you go. All right? So that's what it means. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Pure nuclear radiation, okay? Pure nuclear radiation, which is mainly going to take place here, right? So again, let's go back to Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her plagues, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, that main plague being the nuclear destruction. Now, who's going to come out of her? The Lord's elect. The main deliverance is going to take place here, all right? The deliverance of the elect by Yahushua and the angels. It's going to take place here in America. not in the Vatican. So how can GOCC say that the harlot spoken about in Revelation 17 and 18 is talking about the Vatican? They err not knowing the scriptures, right? For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most have remembered her iniquities. Again, America, this harlot, okay? And she's bombarded with sins, all right? What she did to the Lord's people. Let me read the 6th verse. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she have filled, fill to her double. Again, that cup goes back to the harlot. Did not the harlot have a golden cup in her hand? How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. Right, because these missiles are going to be bombarding this place, man. All right, these missiles are going to be bombarding this place, creating that lake of fire. Yahushua himself. Matter of fact, let's get that. Zechariah the 5th chapter. Yahushua himself is coming here to destroy this place, right along with those missiles. They ain't talking about the Vatican. This prophecy here is not talking about the Vatican. Let's get Zechariah. What is that? Zechariah the 5th chapter. Zechariah 5 and 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. That's a chariot, right? And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll, a chariot. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits, which was a relatively small chariot. Then said he unto me, listen good, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. Now to Esau, the chariots is a plague. That's why they're so, now there's a scripture where it speaks about they are dismayed at the signs of heaven. That's Jeremiah the 10th chapter. One of the signs of heaven are these chariots. Esau is dismayed by them because some of them know that the chariots are really not for their good, really not for the good of their so-called New World Order. Actually, the chariots are going to come and help to destroy their so-called New World Order. They know this, okay? So it's really a curse to them. It's really a plague to them, the chariots, right? The so-called UFOs. Then said he unto me, this is the Lord speaking to Zechariah the prophet, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off on this side according to it. Now, wait a minute. How did the so-called white man get America? Did he not steal it from the so-called North American Indian? Yes, he did. Right? So it says, for every one that stealeth shall be cut off on this side according to it. By what? By those chariots. One of the reasons the chariots are coming, besides deliver the Lord's elect, is to destroy this place called America, to lay it low. Okay? And every one that sweareth shall be cut off on that side according to it. Like they have you in America, they have you swear on the Bible in the court system, which their court system is a joke. Hell, the very word court means game, and that's what it is. It's nothing but a game, and the so-called judge is nothing but a referee. Just like in a tennis game, you have a referee, right? And you have both sides, right? The ball is going back and forth. That's what you have in the so-called American court system. It's nothing but a game, and the judge is really a referee. And by the way, the judge works for the bank. That's why he sits on something called a bench. When you look up the Latin word for bench, it means bank. So he officiates for the bank, as in the bankers. That's why you're not going to get no real justice, okay? It's all a game, man. It's all an illusion. It's all a game. Like earlier, I did a video when I mentioned the word lock. That's what America is. It's a big lock, okay? It's an amusement, okay? It's a big joke. Look at the president. Is not the president a joke? Biden? The last great president that America really had was JFK. He was articulate. He was smart. And he actually spoke against the bankers. He gave a speech about saying that secret society should not be tolerated in a free society, such as America claims to be. He said you should not have no secret societies. Check out that speech, and I think he gave that speech 10 days before he was assassinated. They said, okay, the bankers said, okay, we had enough of this guy, JFK. Get him out of there. He's not playing ball with us like he's supposed to. And since then, every so-called president have, especially the way they saw JFK get taken out, because the bankers wanted to send a message. They wanted everyone to see it, right? And they said, so since then, every president pretty much has been playing ball with the bankers, okay? Because the bankers run the show, man. Back to Revelation 18. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. Yeah, America has not, the Vatican didn't glorify herself. America is the one that makes these outrageous statements that nothing can stop the American Air Force. America, land of the free and home of the brave. God bless America. Even the phone had to chime on that one, right? God bless America when they sing that stupid song. God bless America. I forgot the name of the woman. Kate, what was her name? Kate something? She was famous for that song. Kate, if somebody find it, they can put it in the comment section. Bear with me for a minute. Gotta check something, man. That's why I'm not seeing. Okay, that's why I'm not seeing the comments. Yeah, proud to be an American. I forgot that. Kate Starr was her name. Oh, Kate, it was back in the 40s. He had that song, God bless America. My home, sweet home, all that BS. So that's an example of her glorifying herself. That wasn't talking about the Vatican. The Vatican didn't glorify herself. Kate Smith, bro, I'm telling you, you're on the ball, man. Brother from Hawaii, Yahweh. Oh man, I'm gonna call you Mr. Research. Kate Smith, there you go, Kate Smith. Google her. She sang that song, and she sang it with vigor. There you go. There's your example. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. America, you think America doesn't live deliciously? Go to the Rodeo Drive and certain parts of America, right? Beverly Hills. There's your example, man. Yeah, the few, the proud, the Marines. That's a slogan from America. That's an example of her glorifying herself, people. They ain't talking about the Vatican. The Vatican don't have the slogan, the few, the proud, the Vatican. You guys, man, you guys at GOCC, you've missed the mark, man. Okay? How much he have, this is talking about the harlot here. How much he have glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and I'm no widow. Yeah, you got the term Lady Liberty. Nobody says Lady Vatican. Lady Liberty. What do you got over there in the harbor? When you're, what is it, the Statue of Liberty, right? The Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty, right? So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Yeah, you got people that believe America will never be taken down. Let me tell you something. There were kingdoms that were a lot greater than America. The Babylonian kingdom was a lot more powerful and greater than America, and the Babylonian kingdom was brought down. The Medo-Persian Empire was much more powerful than America. As a matter of fact, at its height of power, the Medo-Persian Empire had, 120 provinces? I think 120, if I'm not mistaken. That's twice as much as America has. America got, 50-something states, right? The Medo-Persian Empire had twice as that, and they were brought down. So what make America think it ain't going to be brought down? Especially when Yahushua come with those angels. You're going to level this place, man. And as a matter of fact, that goes into the next verse. I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues, and we read about the plague in Zechariah, right? Zechariah, the 14th chapter, right? The plague of the missiles. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. They ain't talking about the Vatican, man. It's talking about America. She shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her, right? And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, I already explained that, through the commerce, America being that consumer nation, right? Live deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. That ain't talking about the Vatican. The merchants of the earth didn't get rich off the Vatican. The Vatican is not a consumer nation. America is. So America fits this prophecy here more than the Vatican. So again, what is GOCC talking about? That's why you have to go into Revelation 17, then cross over into Revelation 18. Just like for you to explain Cornelius is an Israelite, you got to start with Acts the 10th chapter, and then you go into Acts the 11th chapter. That completes, when you read Acts 10 and 11, the 10th chapter, the 11th chapter, you will clearly see, if you have the Holy Spirit working with you, you have understanding, you'll clearly see that Cornelius is an Israelite. Okay? As a matter of fact, that night that they had the Cornelius Council, and I wanted the elder pastor to go up and explain it, but everybody and all them demons, they said, no, Tahar is a way of influencing, however they said it. We want you said it, Gabar, you go up there and explain it. You said it. Basically, that's what they said. So I went up there and I explained it. I went in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and the spirit was with me. And I explained, I went into Acts 10, then I crossed over into Acts 11, right? Just hitting the highlights, as far as I can remember. Then I even remember myself saying, now, is there anybody in here that can't see it? And nobody said nothing, man. You could have heard 10 pins drop, because everybody saw it. It was the next week they came with all that BS. Oh, Gabar, maybe you said that because your father is a white man. Father's not a so-called white man. Neither is my grandfather, okay? Anyway, that's I'm not going to entertain that, okay? And if that's the case, look, the so-called white people are Edomites, right? If that was the case, I would have said Cornelius is an Edomite. I wouldn't have said nothing. I said Cornelius is an Israelite. To show you how stupid those guys are, man. Never underestimate the stupidity of a nigger, man. Anyway, Revelation 18 and 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Why? Because they're not going to make no more money. Okay? The cash cow is going to be over. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that whore, right, that harlot, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, right? It's only going to take the Lord 1 hour to destroy this place. Excuse me. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and moan over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. How is this talking about the Vatican? America is the one that buys the merchants of the people of the world, in particular Japan, China, you know, the Middle East, the Arabs, right? They all got rich off this place. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory. That ain't in the Vatican. How do you get the Vatican out of that? and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots, as in vehicles. They ain't talking about the Vatican. And slaves and souls of men. Wait a minute. Our people came into slavery over here, not in the Vatican. They came into slavery over here. Souls of men. People sell their soul over here, especially Hollywood. You go to Hollywood, the average guy who goes to Hollywood, the average woman who goes to Hollywood, they actually sell their soul, man, to become a Hollywood celebrity. They don't do that in the Vatican. So again, what is GOCC talking about? Oh, man. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. Yeah, because America is going to be destroyed. And all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee. I mean, this is clear. And thou shalt find them no more at all. Yeah, because America is going to be one big, vast desert. Isaiah 34th chapter says it. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, not the Vatican, by America, the consumer nation, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. You know what that means? Just like when the Trade Center went down, the pictures of the Trade Center on fire, the pictures of the Trade Center collapsing, all those images were broadcast around the world through different news companies. So guess what? When America is destroyed, you're going to have that. You're going to have breaking news. America has been wiped off the face of the earth. And people from around the world are going to see it. They're going to see the destruction from the missiles. They're going to see the destruction brought by the so-called UFOs, the chariots. So that's going to be when the day that America is destroyed. That's going to be a great event that's going to be broadcast. You know, you had the singer, yeah, bye-bye, Miss American Pie, exactly. You had the singer actually delivered a package to him. What's his name, man? The revolution will not be televised. I actually delivered a package to that guy. I forgot his name. Somebody find his name. The singer who sang that song. The revolution will not be televised. Well, he went off. The destruction of America will be televised, and the whole world will see it. Okay. Trying to remember the guy's name. Gil Scott Heron. Yeah. Gil Scott Heron. I believe his name is. Somebody put Jill Scott Heron. You mean Gil Scott Heron? Yeah, Gil Scott Heron. All right. I know it's probably a typo. I'm not laughing at you. You know, it just sounds funny. Jill Scott Heron. You know, Jill Scott. There's Gil Scott and there's Jill Scott. Anyway, yeah, it's Gil Scott Heron. There you go. Yep. He sang that song, "Revolution Will Not Be Televised." Well, what? Guess what? America, the destruction of America is going to be televised, big time. That's why we're reading it here. Revelation 18 and 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. Right, because they're going to see America being destroyed. They're not going to be weeping for the Vatican. They're going to be weeping for America because this is where they made their most money. That's what's going to come to their mind immediately. Oh boy, that's it for our cash cow. Our cash cow is gone. Then they're going to see us Israelites going around the world, rounding the other nations up as slaves, beginning with the top banking families. Okay, so that's going to be a hell of a day, man. And saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught. How is that talking about the Vatican? And every shipmaster and all the companies and ships. Wait a minute. America is known for its ports. Vatican is not known for its ports. America is known for the different ports that bring in these goods from Japan and China. Well, right now they have the goods locked up in storage. They're not releasing the goods because they're creating this famine, and they're creating this chaos that's about to come. All right, so that's why the goods are not being released. There's plenty of different YouTube content creators that are going into that. Okay, my man Mike from Rethinking the Dollar, he did a lesson on that. All right. Yep, breaking news, America nuked. Yeah, that's going to be just like the Trade Center's breaking news. The Trade Center went down. That's going to be the breaking news of the day. For in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught. Naught is the old English word for zero. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. How is that talking about the Vatican? Trade by sea. All right, they got these huge containers filled with goods from these different countries ready to be peddled in America, not in the Vatican. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Yeah, America. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her coastliness. Yeah, different, especially over there in LA, man. LA has many harbor ports that is used to bring in goods from these different countries, Japan and China especially, their vehicles. Come on, man. Were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her coastliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles. And that's going to be us. We're going to rejoice in that day. And prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea. That's the missiles. Saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. That's America. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers. This is what made America great, not the Vatican. And trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. America is known for its music, right? America is known for its music. American music influences the whole world. What music is coming out of the Vatican? What the that? Come on, man. That's what you hear coming out of the Vatican. All them so-called priests making that noise, which a lot of them are, you know what? There's something called crimen, look it up, crimen sollicitationis. It's a Latin saying for where the so-called priests in the Vatican get a break from doing what you know they do. They get a slap on the wrist. Look it up, man. Crimen sollicitationis. Okay, we went into that a while back. Okay. Now the great music comes out of America. Jazz came out of America. Rock and roll came out of America. Come on, man. How can you see the Vatican in this? And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone, that's jobs, shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. Yeah, America's not going to be this crowning glory, this lady liberty and all that nonsense, because it's going to be destroyed. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride. You got many bride shows on television coming from America. You got Bridezilla, right? The different bride shows that they show. They don't show that in the Vatican. Wait a minute, ain't no marriages going on in the Vatican unless you want to count two men getting together. And you know what they do. Come on, man. It's so plain that the harlot is talking about America, not the Vatican. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, and by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. There you go. By thy sorceries were all nations deceived. That's talking about America. All right? The main sorcery that America produces is Hollywood. Right? Hollywood. Which the term Hollywood goes back to the stick that the Druids carried, which was made out of hollow wood. So the modern day Druids, look up the term Druid, the modern day Druids are the people in Hollywood. That's the modern day magic wand of Esau, Hollywood. Okay? All right, so that's the last verse for Revelation 18. So that's pretty much it. I mean, if you still believe that that the harlot is talking about the Vatican, then I don't know what to tell you. You're just lost, okay? You have no understanding. So hopefully with that, you brothers and you few sisters were edified. I'm going to end it there.